Somewhere in your house right now, there's a pile. Maybe it's a drawer, maybe it's a folder on your desktop with 400 files named Scan001 through Scan400. By the end of this video, that pile has a home. One afternoon. That's the whole promise. Divorce Smarter with Claude, Episode 3. Organize every document in one afternoon. Organizing divorce documents feels harder than it actually is, and there's a reason for that. It's not really a filing problem, it's an avoidance problem, wearing a filing problem's clothes. Every document in that pile is attached to a feeling. The mortgage statement isn't just a mortgage statement, it's a reminder of a house you might have to sell. The photo of the wedding certificate isn't just paperwork, it's the actual day. So the pile doesn't just sit there because you're disorganized, it sits there because opening it costs something. Knowing that changes the plan. We're not trying to make you into a naturally tidy person in one afternoon. We're building a system simple enough that you can do it while feeling exactly as tired and over it as you actually are. This is worth saying because plenty of people watch organizing videos, feel briefly inspired, then quietly fail at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday, and feel worse than before they started. That's not a discipline problem. That's a system that assumed you'd feel motivated the whole way through. This one doesn't assume that. It just assumes you can follow 6 labeled folders for 2 hours. Here's the entire structure. 6 folders, and almost nothing you own won't fit into one of them. Court forms, for anything filed or received from a court. Financials, bank statements, tax returns, pay stubs. Property, the house, cars, anything you own together. Parenting, school records, custody notes, anything about the kids. Correspondence, emails and letters between you, your ex, and your lawyer. And agreements, any draft or signed agreement, no matter how informal. A quick gut check for the tricky ones. An email from your lawyer with a draft agreement attached goes in agreements, not correspondence, because the agreement is the important part. A bank statement your lawyer asked for goes in financials, not correspondence, for the same reason. When in doubt, ask where you'd look for it in 6 months, not where it technically came from. That's it. 6 folders, not 60. You can build this in about 90 seconds, and the rest of the afternoon is just sorting into it, not designing it. One naming rule, and it solves almost every future headache. Date first, then a short description. 2026-03-12_mortgage statement. Do that consistently, and every folder sorts itself into chronological order automatically, which matters enormously later when you or your lawyer need to reconstruct a timeline of what happened when. It also solves a smaller, sneakier problem. The moment 6 months from now when you're searching for that one email and can't remember if you called it important or urgent or nothing at all. A date first name means you can always find something by roughly when it happened, even when you've completely forgotten what you called it. If your pile is physical paper, not files, the fix is the same, just with your phone. Photograph each document, one at a time, on a flat surface with decent light. You don't need a scanner. Your phone camera is enough. Then it's the same 6 folders and the same naming rule, just with photos instead of PDFs. A shoebox of paper becomes a phone full of named, sorted photos in about the time it takes to watch a movie. One extra habit worth building here. Photograph both sides of anything double-sided. And if a document is multiple pages, take the photos in order and keep them together, even if that means naming them page 1, page 2, and so on, within the same date first name. Nothing's worse than finding page 3 of a 5-page agreement and realizing the other 4 are scattered across your camera roll from 3 different days. This next part actually saves you hours. You don't have to figure out which folder each document belongs in by yourself, one at a time, second-guessing every borderline case. Claude can look at a document, or even just its file name and a rough description, and tell you which of the 6 folders it belongs in, flagging anything that seems to belong in more than one. That single decision over and over is most of what makes this task feel exhausting. Handing it off is most of what makes the afternoon short. Say you've got a list of 40 file names, half of them cryptic phone camera defaults, like IMG4211. Sorting that by hand means opening each one, remembering what it was, deciding where it goes, and doing that 40 separate times. Handing the list to Claude with a one-line description next to each name turns 40 small decisions into one. Use this once you've got a list of what you're working through, even a rough one, typed out fast. I'm organizing my divorce documents into 6 folders: court forms, financials, property, parenting, correspondence, and agreements. I'm going to give you a list of file names or short descriptions. For each one, tell me which folder it belongs in. If something could fit more than one folder, tell me that too, and suggest which one makes more sense as the primary home. Paste your list underneath, even if it's 50 items typed in 2 minutes flat with no punctuation. It doesn't need to be neat. It just needs to exist. If a few come back miscategorized, that's fine too. And always a quick skim to sanity check the results takes far less time than sorting from scratch. Concretely, here's how the afternoon actually goes. 30 minutes building the 6 folders and photographing or gathering anything physical. 20 minutes typing out a rough list of everything you've got. No sorting yet, just naming it. 10 minutes letting Claude sort that list into folders for you. Then the last stretch, maybe an hour, actually dragging files and photos into place, renamed with the date first rule as you go. Call it 2 hours, not one afternoon lost to dread, but a chunk of a Saturday you'll never have to repeat. Put on a podcast, put on music, whatever gets you through 2 hours of repetitive motion. This isn't deep emotional work, even though it's about deeply emotional material. It's closer to folding laundry. Mechanical, a little boring, and much better done than avoided. If you'd rather not rebuild this structure from memory, there's a free 1-page checklist in the description. The 6 folders, the naming rule, and the 2 prompts from this series so far, all on one printable page you can keep next to your laptop while you work. No email trick, no 10-page funnel, just the page, because you're going to want it open while your hands are full of paper, not buried 3 clicks deep in an inbox you haven't checked since this morning. Once everything has a home, episode 4 is where this really pays off, turning a 600-page disclosure bundle into something you can actually read in one sitting instead of a week. If your pile is already sorted and you're just here for the disclosure problem, skip ahead. The link's below, and this episode will still be here whenever the next pile shows up, because there's usually a next pile. Divorce has a way of generating paperwork in waves, not all at once. An organized folder doesn't make any of this easier to feel, but it makes it easier to do. And on the hard days, doing is sometimes all you've got the energy for. 6 folders, 1 naming rule, a rough list, and a bit of help sorting it. That's the whole system, and it'll outlast this entire process. Long after the divorce is done, you'll still have a version of this that works for taxes, for the next big life thing, for whatever comes next. One step at a time. See you in the next one.